Okay, so hi everybody. So in today's class I will discuss a very important aspect, and that aspect is called linearization, and then I will proceed to Taylor's theorem. So first of all, what we basically mean by saying linearization. Linearization means it is a some kind of approximation. What kind of approximation? For example, you have a complex function. Complex function means the function looks very erratic in nature, like it has many terms like e power x square, sin x square, cos x square, this type of too many terms. Now you need to solve some mathematical problem with that function, but it may happen that kind of function is not easy to handle. So what you will do, you will replace that function to some well-known function. And how to approximate that function with a real known function? To approximate that, for example, if you have a function like sin x and you want to approximate only by considering a third degree polynomial, so you know, if you are approximated through third degree polynomial, so sin x, it can be well approximated as x when x is very close to 0. Similarly, if you have the function cos x, then cos x function can be approximated as 1. Cos x function can be approximated as 1 if x is very close to 0. So here linearization is a technique. Using that technique, what we will do, we will approximate a function. So for example, you have a function, say now here we will deal with function of two variables. So you have a function of two variables fxy, and your f is a differentiable function in a rectangle containing a comma b. The linearization of the function fxy at a point a comma b where f is differentiable is the function lxy equal to f of a comma b plus fxab, that means first order derivative at the point a comma b, into x minus a plus fyab y minus a b. So this very basic formula will give you linear approximation of the function fxy. That means using this technique you can approximate any complex function, any difficult function to tackle into a simpler notion. For example, here this is this formula you need to remember. Your fxy can be approximated using this linear function lxy, where this lxy looks like f of a comma b plus fx a comma b x minus a plus fy a comma b y minus b. The approximation fxy is approximated as lxy is the standard linear approximation of fxy at a comma b. I am just keeping 2 minutes in this so that you can clearly memorize the thing. I am once again repeating it. You have a function fxy, and that function you can Next, so what will be the error? Since the function is differentiable, so you are approximating the function fxy with lxy, so there might be some error. What is that error? The error in xy is simply fxy minus L of xy. That means epsilon 1 x minus a plus epsilon 2 y minus b, where epsilon 1 comma epsilon 2 takes to 0 and x tends to a, y tends to b. The error of this approximation is absolute error exy less than or equal to m by 2 bracket mod of x minus a plus y minus b whole square, where m equal to max of this second order derivatives. So the error of approximation, you remember, it will be a second order term. Since you are approximating linear, your error will be a second order error. Next I will discuss a problem. You need to find the linearization and error in the approximation of fxy. There will be no z here, this is a typo. Find the linearization and error in the approximation of fxy, which looks like x square minus xy plus half y square plus 3 at 3 comma 2. We obtain the given function. So f of 3 comma 2, f of 3 comma 2 means you need to just put 3 instead of x and 2 instead of y. So this will become x square minus xy plus half y square plus 3. So your f of 3 comma 2, if you put 3 and 2 here, you will get 3 square is 9 minus 3 into 2 is 6, so there will be 3 plus half into 4, there will be 2, so 5 plus 3, so that will be 8. So you need to find the linearization and error in this approximation. So you can obtain from the given function f3 comma 2 as 8. If you determine the first order derivative, that will be x square minus xy plus half y square. The first order derivative will be 2x minus y. So fx 3 comma 2, 2x minus y, 2x minus y will be 4. Fy 3 comma 2 will be minus x plus y, minus x plus 1 will be minus 1. So your linear approximation of this function will be linearization of this approximation will be lxy equal to 8 plus 4 into x minus 3 minus y minus 2. So your linear approximation will be 4x minus y minus 2. Okay, 4x minus y minus 2. Also max of, so this will be the error. The formula for error is m by 2 plus modulus of x minus a plus modulus of y minus b whole square. So max of this will be fxx, fxy, fyy equal to 2, and then this fxx is nothing but 2x, fyy is once again I think fyy will be 1, fxx is 2, and fxy is minus 1. So max of their modulus value is 2. So here you will get 2. So 2 by 2 cancels one another. So then the error will be modulus of x minus 3 plus modulus of x minus 2 whole square. Is it clear? Then next I will move to one of the important aspect, that is called Taylor's theorem. So it is not always that true that before going into Taylor's theorem, I will briefly tell you about, it is not always true that second order mixed derivatives fxy, second order mixed derivatives are always exist and are equal to each other. So it is not always true that the second order mixed derivatives are equal. So here I will give you one example. So your first you need to determine if y is 0. So what is fy80? fy80 is limit k tends to 0. This is the function fxy equal to xy x square minus y square by x square plus y square, x not equals to 0, y not equals to 0, and x equal to y equal to 0. So fyh comma 0 limit k tends to 0 fhk minus fh0 by k equal to limit k tends to 0 1 by k. fhk is hk into h square minus k square by h square plus k square. 1 by k is there. f80 will be, if you put here f80, fh comma 0 will be 0. So that will be, you will get 1 by k hk h square minus k square h square plus k square. Your k tends to 0, so you will get ultimately h to be the answer. So fy80 is h. Also fy00, if you determine fy00, you will get it to be 0. Therefore fxy00 will be limit h tends to 0 fy80 minus fy00 divided by h. So h minus 0 divided by h will be 1. Now fx0 comma k. fx0 comma k is limit h tends to 0 f of hk minus f of 0k divided by h. So that will give you 1 by h, hk h square minus k square by h square plus k square. Your h tends to 0, so you will finally get k minus k cube by k square will be minus k, and fx00 you will get to here fx00 you will get to be 0. Now fyx, you are taking now derivative with respect to y. So limit fyx 00 is limit h tends to 0 fx0 comma k minus fx00 divided by k. This will be minus 1. So you get the mixed order derivatives are unequal. You are getting 1 to be 1, and for this you will getting it as minus 1. Theorem 7.0.2. If fx, fy, fxy, fyx are continuous in a neighborhood of a comma b, then fxy a comma b and fyx equal a comma b. That means this is called, we call this mixed order theorem, mixed order derivative theorem. If the first order derivative and the second order derivatives exist and are all continuous around a point a comma b, then their value will be equal. Okay, so next this is the problem. Consider the function fxy x square y square by x square plus y square, x not equals to 0, y not equals to 0, fxy 00, fyx 00, but fxy 00 and fyx 00 are not continuous at 0, 0. So this will be your home task. Kindly note down this problem. This problem will be your home task. Okay. Next I will move to a very important thing, that is called Taylor's theorem. Suppose fxy and its partial derivatives through order n plus 1 are continuous throughout an open rectangular region R centered at a point a comma b, then throughout R f of a plus h b plus k, this can be written as summation of f of a comma b plus h f x plus k f y at the point a comma b. Here h and k the increments, plus 1 by 2 factorial h square fxx plus 2hk fxy plus k square fyy a comma b 1 by factorial 3. Then once again it is just the binomial coefficients, binomial a plus b whole square का formula you see here, h square plus 2hk plus k square. Here also you will get binomial like that, and then up to that only I think up to second order is sufficient for you to if you memorize it, up to second order sufficient. Okay, up to second order is sufficient. You just need to memorize up to second order only. And what will be the error? Here see, here just like binomial I have written 1 by n factorial h del del x plus k del del y to the power n fy comma b plus 1 by n plus 1 factorial h del del x plus k del del y n plus 1 f of a plus ch plus b ck. This a plus ch b plus ck is a point on the line segment joining a comma b and a plus h comma b plus k. So what will be the Taylor's approximation, second order Taylor's approximation? I think you can determine the second order Taylor's approximation of a function will be f of a plus h comma b plus k will be f of ab plus h del del x plus k del del y, f of at that point ab plus 1 by 2 factorial h square h plus h del del x plus k del del y whole square. You can write it as h del del x plus k del del y whole square at the point a comma b. It will be operated on the function f, and this will be a comma b. Next, I hope that it is clear. I will not go through the proof. This last is called the error. This last one is the error term. Up to that, this will be up to nth degree polynomial, nth degree Taylor's polynomial, and this will be the error. Next I will go through a important thing. What is that important thing? The function fxy x square minus xy plus y square is approximated by a first degree Taylor's polynomial about the 2, 3. You need to find the square modulus of x minus 2 less than delta, modulus of y minus 3 less than delta, such that the error of approximation is less than or equal to 0.1. Okay. So I need to approximate it by a first degree Taylor's polynomial. First degree Taylor's polynomial is nothing but linearization, right? First degree Taylor's polynomial is nothing but linearization. Okay, so you have fxy. First you need to determine fx, fy, fxx, fxy, fyy. So at the point 2, 3. Okay, so in linearization the error will be, already I have discussed, m by 2 modulus of x0 minus 2 plus y minus 3 whole square. What is this b? This b is maximum of the second order derivatives. What is the second order derivatives? Second order derivatives are 2, 1, 2. Modulus, if you take modulus, you will be just, sorry, there is I think one type. No, that will be fxx will be 2. Here is a typo, it will be not -1, it will be 2. So max of this fxx, fxy, fy will be 2, 1, 2, so that will be 2. So therefore we want to determine delta. This is less than delta, this is also less than delta. So that means this mod of r is less than 2, 2 plus square root of delta plus delta whole square, and that is should be less than 0.1. So that means just 2 delta square is less than 0.1, and from that you can easily calculate the 4 delta square. So your delta will be square root of 0.025, like that. You can just calculate it. Is it clear to you? Whoever has joined, is this problem clear, or should I need to discuss it? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now local maxima and minima in two variables. Okay, I will not go into the definition, just I will tell you that a function in single variable calculus I have all to deal with fx. Say you have a function fx, y equal to fx, your point alpha will be a local maxima if there is a neighborhood of alpha such that fx less than f alpha for all x belonging to that neighborhood, right? Here also you see that you will need to get a open disk. That open disk should exist delta greater than 0 such that square root of h square plus k square, this f of a plus h comma b plus k, that will be less than f a f b. So then therefore your that a comma b will be a local maxima, and minima it will be just reverse. That means this f of a comma b will be less than all of those points belonging to that neighborhood. So if we say that a comma b is a point of local extrema if either it is local maxima or local minima. Next, so first of all, what is the necessary condition for a local maxima minima? So in single variable calculus, to determine local maxima or minima, you just take derivative like dy dx, right? You just, if you have a function y equal to fx, you just take derivative of that function, right, to determine the critical points. Is it true? If you have y equal to fx, you will just take derivative, right, and you just take derivative and you will calculate, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the please respond, otherwise I will not be able that whether you are in the class or not. Okay, so when you move to double variable calculus, functions constituting two independent variables, then you need to take the two partial derivatives. That means del f del x and del f del y. So necessary condition is del f del x equal to 0 and del f del y equal to 0. Next I will move to sufficient condition. Here there is a detailed calculation, but I will just, yes, these things, remember this box. Okay, please remember this box, this is very important. So first you determine critical points. So we summarize the derivative test in two variables in the following. So at the critical points the following holds. If your AC minus B square is greater than 0, what is A? A is, remember our notation, A is del 2f del x square, B is del 2f del x del y, right, and C is del 2f del y square. Or in other notation, A is second order derivative of f with respect to xx, B is the mixed derivative, that is fxy, and C is the fyy. And we will deal in physical problems, mostly we will deal where that B, that means fxy, the mixed derivatives are equal to each other. So there is no problem in that context. So if your AC minus B square is greater than 0 as well as A greater than 0, your point, that critical point will be a local minimum. and if AC minus B square is greater than 0 but A is less than 0, then it will be a local maximum. If your AC minus B square is itself less than 0, then it will be called a saddle point. And if AC minus B square itself is equal to 0, then there is no conclusion can be drawn. Then you need to apply different procedure. So is it clear? AC minus B square greater than 0 and A greater than 0 maximum. AC minus B square greater than 0, A less than 0 minimum. AC minus B square is itself less than 0, then it is saddle point. And AC minus B square is equal to 0, your test fails. So here I am giving you one problem. Find the critical points and their nature of fxy equal to xy minus x square minus y square minus 2x minus 2y plus 4. First you try to determine the critical points and then try to determine the nature. How to determine the critical points is already written here and the nature is written in the box. So please solve it. I am giving you 5 minutes. Please solve the problem.
X is minus 2, y is minus 2.
And what is the nature? You currently remember AC. What is the notation for ACB, right? A is the second order derivative with respect to x, B is the mixed derivative, and C is the second order derivative with respect to y.
What AC minus B square less than 0.
So that means you are getting a saddle point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think you have done some mistake. Please cross check it. Please cross check.
Let me check again. The local maximum. Sir, I get AC minus B square greater than 0 and A is less than 0.
So that is local maximum. What is your point? Minus 2.
Minus 2. SFS is minus 2.
Okay.
And AC minus B square is 3.
Okay. The critical points are found using fx equal to 0, fy equal to 0. Therefore, the point minus 2 is the only critical point. Also a equal to fxx equal to -2, c equal to fyy equal to -2, and b equal to fxy equal to 1. Therefore ac minus b square equal to 3 greater than 0, and a equal to -2, this is less than 0. So therefore this -2 comma -2 is a point of local maximum. Next find the correct. So next find the critical points and their nature for the. अच्छा एक और चीज, if you have 4 local maxima, okay, now you need to find the global maxima. How you will determine? You will determine by computing the functional values at those points. If you have set 2 points, for example 2 2 and -2 -2, these are local maxima, then what you will do? You will determine f2 comma 2, f -2 comma -2, and then you will compare them. Then which one will be greater, you will call that to be the global maxima. Okay, now next problem, find the critical points and the nature of the function fxy equal to x cube plus 3xy plus y cube.
I get x equal to 0, x equal to -1, and y equal to 0, y equal to -1.
Now determine, comment about their nature.
Sir, I have a doubt to check what point I will take.
Yes, -1 तो उसका तो हो गया ना, -1 का
Yes, sir.
-1 क्या मिल रहा है? -1 ओके, आई विल डिस्कस इट, नो प्रॉब्लम. देखो एट द पॉइंट 0 0 क्या आ रहा है? 0 0 at the point 0 0 you will get ac minus b square will be less than 0, so 0 0 will be the saddle point, and at -1 ac minus b square is greater than 0, a is less than 0, so -1 is a local minima. -1 is a local minima, right? Sorry, local maxima. एक बार देख लो, इसमें शायद पता नहीं क्या गड़बड़ी हो रखा है कि नहीं, पता नहीं मुझे, एक बार देख लो, ठीक है?
Sir, I can take x equal to 0 when y equal to 0, x equal to 0 when y equal to -1.
No, how x equal to 0 will give you y equal to -1?
That's I have problem on that topic.
Okay,
What point I will take?
okay, just give me some time, okay? I'm just connecting my iPad, just give me some time. Okay, Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so what is that problem? Your problem was your fxy was x cube plus 3xy plus y cube, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is your fx? Your fx is 3x square plus 3y. Your fy is 3x plus 3y square. You need to equate them with 0. Now see, now what is happening here? So this will ultimately give you x square plus y equal to 0 and x plus y square equal to 0. Now you do this one, x square plus y equal to xy square, x square minus x equal to y square minus y, x into x minus 1 equal to y into x square minus y square minus x plus y equal to 0. That will be x minus y into x plus y, and then minus 1, it will be x minus y. So you will get x minus y into x plus y minus 1 equal to 0. So from here you get two conditions, x minus 1 and x plus y equal to 1, right? Now if you put x equal to y, so if you put x equal to y, first x equal to y, from here what you will get? If you put x equal to y, you will get y square plus y equal to 0. That means y into y plus 1 equal to 0. That means y equal to 0 or minus 1. Now you have considered x equal to y, right? So what are the 2 points you get? You get 0 0, you get minus 1. Now another one condition that you get is x plus y equal to 1. X plus y equal to 1. This will give you x as y minus y. Now here in each condition you have x square plus y equal to 0. So if you put it here, y minus 1 whole square plus y equal to 0, right? Now if you break y minus 1 whole square, you will get it as 1 minus 2y plus y square plus y equal to 0. So that will be 1 minus y plus y square equal to 0. Now Sridhar Acharya formula, minus b plus minus b square minus 4 by 2. So you will get it to be a complex number. You will get it to be a, this is a complex number.
Sir, I got it. Actually, I have made a mistake by taking partial derivative of fx and fy.
Okay. So whatever till now I have discussed, that is how you need to determine. Is it till now clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now I can get it.
Okay, so then I will just for the online, if anybody watch the video, then you have already got 0 comma 0 and these 2 point as your critical points. Then you need to just determine this function fxx excuse me fxx, fxy and fyi, and then the calculation is quite easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I will move to our next problem. The global maxima and minima. I have already told you that how to determine global maxima minima. You have local maxima minima. You have local maxima minima. What you will do, you will check the functional value at each of those points, and then you take the best among them. If you need maxima, you determine the maximum one. If you need minima, you take the which one is most minima, take that one. Okay. Next I will go to one, I will give one more problem. Okay, इसको मैं ऐसे कर देता हूँ. हाँ, इसको करो. Find the absolute maxima and minima of absolute means here global. Find the absolute maxima and minima of fxy. The function is 2 plus 2x plus 2y minus x square minus y square on the triangular region in the first quadrant bounded by the lines x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and y equal to 9 minus x. इस पे करो, ठीक है? On that boundary I will discuss this later. First what you will do, you will just take fx fy, you equate them with 0 and then try to find out the critical points first.
So that is x equal to 1, y equal to 1.
X equal to
1.
y equal to 1. Okay, very good. This is the only critical point. Now f11 is क्या करो, वो उसका नेचर निकालो.
It is maximum.
Now we need to determine देखो
SC minus B square.
हाँ.
SC minus B square, that is 4, greater than 0.
जी जी जी.
And fxs, that is A. A is minus 2, that is less than 0.
So first of all you got it to be local maxima and this is lying within the domain. Now you need to consider on the lines of these triangles x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and y equal to 9x. So first in your fxy you put y equal to 0. So at fx comma 0 will be 2 plus 2x minus x square. So इसका तो कैसे आपको निकालना है आपको पता है, बस df dx कर दोगे. So df dx कर दोगे तो 2 minus 2x आ जाएगा and your y is 0. So your point is, critical point is 1 comma 0. Is it clear? क्योंकि now आपने इंटीरियर पॉइंट पे तो निकाल लिया, अब आपको बाउंड्रीज पे लेना है. तो बाउंड्रीज में when you put the boundary condition, this function will reduce to a single variable problem because you are putting a restriction there. Is my point clear to you?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, so then you get 1 comma 0. So only critical point is 1 comma 0. You will get 3. So next on the segment x equal to 0, f of 0 comma y is 2 plus 2y minus y square, and your fy, so you just take to derivative with respect to y. So fy is 2 minus 2y equal to 0. So y equal to 1 and f 0 comma 1 is 3. One second, and next the only is y equal to 9 minus x. You put y equal to 9 minus x, you get f of x comma 9 minus x. You will get minus 61 plus 18x minus 2x square. Just instead of y you are putting 9 minus x. So your critical point is 9 by 2. So x is 9 by 2, so y is also 9 by 2 because y equal to 9 minus x. So at this point f 9 comma 2 9 comma 2 is minus 41 by 2. And finally one point that you are missing is the 0 comma 0, the corner points. Then you need to move at the corner point, and that corner point is 0 comma 0. So if you determine in the 0 comma 0 corner point, you will get it to be, the value will be minus 61 at 0 comma, sorry, at the point finally f 0 comma 0 will give you 2, f 9 comma 0 is minus 61 because these are the three triangle का 3 वो vertex है ना, 0 comma 0 9 comma 0 0 comma 9, समझे? और एक जो स्ट्रेट लाइन है उस स्ट्रेट लाइन के मिडिल पॉइंट है 9 by 2 9 by 2. सो फाइनली व्हाट इज द, तो मैक्सिमा निकालना है. सो मैक्सिमा के लिए द मोस्ट, द सबसे ज्यादा जो मैक्सिमम है उसको लेना है, एंड हियर दैट वैल्यू इज 4. सो ग्लोबल मैक्सिमा इज 4 एंड ग्लोबल मिनिमा इज minus 61. This minus 61 value. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
ये तीन जो है ये तीन है कॉर्नर पॉइंट्स, समझ गया ना? 0 0 9 0 and 0 9. These are the corner points. Is it clear or should I like solve it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have to put that corner point of the equation in the
Yes.
in the function. That's maximum. Highest value is global maximum and lowest value is global minimum.
Yes. So here this minus 61 will be global minimum and this 4 is your global maximum. That we have already determined from this local analysis. So is it till now? Is it clear? Then I will move to the next problem. I will upload this note today. No problem. In the link. Okay. Week 4, week 5 class. So next, there is one important aspect that is called. This is the last topic of today's class. So in this class we will discuss the concept called constrained maxima minima. Constrained maximum means you have a function f of x, y, z, and you will be given a constant. Okay. For example, there is a surface, some surface, and you need to find out shortest possible distance from origin to that surface. So which function you need to minimize? The distance function. Distance function is square root of x square plus y square plus z square from the origin. So this is just, so in 3D coordinate geometry, if you have a point x comma y comma z and you need to find distance from alpha beta gamma, then the distance will be square root of x minus alpha whole square plus y minus beta whole square plus z minus gamma whole square. Since your alpha beta gamma is just origin, so your distance will be square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So you can minimize this function x square plus y square plus z square, and your point is lying on that plane 2x plus 2y minus 5. So your optimizing problem here, you need to minimize this function fxyz equal to x square plus y square plus z square subject to the constant 2x plus 2y minus z minus 5 equal to 0. Got my point? Now from here you take z equal to 2x plus 2y minus 5, you put j instead of z, 2x plus 2y minus 5. So your hxy is x square plus h square plus 2x plus y minus 5 whole square. इसका del f del x del f del y निकालो, find the critical point and then tell me about the nature of that point. Okay, this is the distance function. हमने constant को ऐसे put कर दिया. Is it clear ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can I use Lagrange multiplier method here?
Yeah, you are talking about a bit advanced, but here there is no need. Here you just need to find critical points of this function. This is your task now. I will discuss Lagrange multiplier method later. Lagrange multiplier method makes your problem a bit complex. Here you can easily you can determine, because there you also need to find that undetermined coefficient lambda, but here there is no need to determine lambda, right?
Yes. Sir, x equal to 5 by 3, y equal to 5 by 6.
X equal to 5 by 3, y equal to 5 by
6.
Okay, now determine z from this constant, and then take square sum, take the square root, you will get the answer. So you will get the point, and then you from origin you can determine the distance.
Sorry, sir, I don't got it.
Okay, you just need to determine z now. You have z equal to 2x plus 2y minus 5. Just put the value of x and y, you determine z.
Minus 5 by 6.
Z is minus 5 by 6. Okay. Bah. So your x equal to 5 by 3, y equal to 5 by 6, 2x plus 2y minus implies minus 5 by 6. You can check that AC minus B square greater than 0, A greater than 0. So this 5 by 3, 5 comma 6, 5 by 6 minus 5 by 6 is a point of minima. Now this substitution does not always work. I have given here one counter example. I will not discuss it. I will upload the note, you can check it. For that purpose you need Lagrange's multiplier method, which is a, but when you have a surface, hyperplane, plane kind of surface, then this method easily works, but for this kind of problems it creates problem. Okay, like I think that you have watched Ser's video. I will not go through here. Just I will briefly discuss about algorithm. So method of Lagrange's multiplier method with many constant in n variables. So you have number of constants m that should be less than the total number of independent variables n. So you have say g1, g2, gm. You write the Lagrange multiplier equation. This grad of f equal to sum of 1 to 1 to m lambda I grad gi. Solve this set of m plus n equations to find decimal points. You need to find this lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda m, and then also you need to find the n variables. Now Sumitra, try to determine this using your Lagrange's multiplier method. Whatever method you like, you can use whatever I have just discussed this before, and also you can apply Lagrange's multiplier method. What you have to do, you have to find the point on the plane x plus y minus 2z equal to 1 which is nearest to the origin.
So x equal to 1 by 6, y equal to 1 by 6, z equal to minus 1 by 3.
Okay. So the given problem is minimizing x square plus y square plus z square subject to the x plus y minus 2z equal to 1. So the Lagrangian function is lxy comma z lambda x square plus y square plus z square lambda into x plus y minus 2z minus 1. Lagrange's multiplier equation, you take the gradient in both sides gradient of x square plus y square plus z square plus lambda gradient x plus y minus 2z minus 1 equal to 0. So from here you will get 2x plus lambda equal to 0, 2y plus lambda equal to 0, z minus lambda equal to 0, and you have one constant x plus y minus 2z equal to 1. So solving these equations you can get the point of minimum is 1 by 6, 1 by 6 minus 1 by 3. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there is one problem. Among all rectangular boxes with a fixed surface area of 30 square centimeters, find the dimension of the box that has largest volume. Try to solve it. Among all rectangular boxes with a fixed surface area of 30 square centimeter, find the dimension of the box that has largest volume.
Can you give me some hints?
Yes, why not? So let L, B and H denote the length, breadth and height respectively of a rectangular box. Then the problem is maximize V, which is a function of L comma B comma H. So the volume will be L into B into H, subject to the total surface area is fixed to 30. So that is the formula for surface area is 2 into LB plus BH plus LH equal to 30. LBH is greater than 0. Now this is your Lagrange's function, capital L equal to LBH plus lambda into 2LB plus BH plus LH minus 30. Now you try to solve it. Take derivative with respect to, also if you have problem with notation LBH, you can use XYZ instead. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, x equal to root 5.
Wow. And y equal to root 5, z equal to root 5. The other solution will be, okay, so you just take derivative with respect to del x, del y, del z. Instead of LBH, you can take that notation. You will get these two solutions, root 5, root 5, root 5, minus root 5, minus root 5, minus root 5. Since LB and H, they cannot be negative, so obviously they should be positive. So the dimension of the box with largest volume will be square root 5, square root 5, square root 5. तो अब आप इसका ये कर लो. So that will be a cube, right? That will be, the answer will be cube, a cube, because x, y, z all are equal. So what will be the volume? The volume will be 25 root 5. Yes, very good, very good. Next, next this problem. Find the maximum and minimum of fxy 81x square plus y square subject to the constant 4x square plus y square equal to 9. I do not have the solution, but you can take here help the concept called parameterization. Parameterization you can just apply. Parameterization में क्या होता है, जैसे 4x square plus y square equal to 9. So this is a formula of ellipse. So you can take x equal to 3 by 2 cos theta and y is equal to 3 sin theta, because just ellipse का उसमें आपको पता है ना कि x square by a square plus y square by b square equal to 1 कर देते हैं, और x we will take a cos theta, y equal to b cos theta. तो उधर से आपको वो a b आपको तो पता है, because 4x square plus y square by 9 करोगे, right? So 81x square plus y square, आप उस पे x और y का वैल्यू you need to put it here, 81x square plus y square. So then you just take derivative with respect to theta and then apply second derivative test. That means d2 d theta square, take it whether it is greater than 0 or less than 0. If it is greater than 0, then it is, if it is greater than 0 then it is minima, and if it is less than 0 then it is maxima. अब डिटरमिन करो.
Sir, I have stopped in why
No
how
problem.
you use second derivative test in parametric form.
ओके, जस्ट ये इसके सिंगल वेरिएबल का में रिड्यूस हो गया ना, तो अब d2 d थीटा स्क्वायर निकाल लीजिए बस, डबल डेरिवेटिव विद रिस्पेक्ट टू थीटा. आप इस वैल्यू को यहाँ पे पुट कर दो तो ये फंक्शन ऑफ थीटा बन जाएगा. तो फंक्शन ऑफ थीटा बन गया तो सेकंड डेरिवेटिव निकाल लो. पहले फर्स्ट डेरिवेटिव डी डी थीटा करके क्रिटिकल पॉइंट निकाल लो, और उसके बाद d2 d थीटा स्क्वायर करके अगर ग्रेटर देन 0 आया तो मिनिमा और लेस देन 0 आया तो मैक्सिमा. बस सिंपल. इज इट क्लियर नाउ?
Sir, if second derivative test greater than 0, then it is
मिनिमा.
minimum. Less than 0, then maximum.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, even I sometimes also fumble it. You need to remember that opposite thing. Is less than 0, then it is maxima, and greater than 0 is minima. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just I will discuss a few applications. जैसे कि there is application I have written like gasoline company, a petroleum company, say Indiana, producing heating oil and gasoline from crude oil, has profit function this, where X is the heating oil and Y is the gasoline. Using the second derivative test, we find the optimum at the critical point x equal to 5.77, y equal to 4.08, and the optimal profit you can determine it to be 548.45. जस्ट इसको आप डिलेप डेल एक्स डिलेप डेल वाई कर लो क्योंकि आपको प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज करना है. ओके, सो द सेम कंपनी इफ देयर इज अ कांस्टेंट ऑन द सप्लाई ऑफ क्रूड ऑयल, से कि आपके पास 200 यूनिट से ज़्यादा क्रूड ऑयल नहीं आएगा और 20 लीटर्स का ही, सपोज क्रूड ऑयल एक्स रिक्वायर्स 20 लीटर्स और क्रूड ऑयल वाई यू नीड 40 लीटर्स, देन यू हैव कांस्टेंट आपको मिल गया 20x प्लस 40y. अब जैसे ही आप इस कांस्टेंट को यहाँ पे फ्यूज कर दोगे तो the solution of the unconstant problem does not satisfying the constant because it requires this becomes 278.6, but you can only have 200 units of crude oil, right? So however, solving the constant problem you can get x equal to 5.56 and y equal to 2.22. So that is how constant maxima minima are applied in industry. Also, is it clear? I am just like little bit hurrying because I need to finish it in time. Okay, is it clear whatever I have told about this gasoline company thing?
Yes sir.
Okay, so sales of company, a company mounts that manufactures a product has observed through a statistical data analysis that their sales are a function of amount advertising in two different media, newspapers and magazines. So this is your fxy. So using the second derivative test you can calculate the maximum sales at the optimum values of newspapers, magazine advertise. Suppose the advertisement budget is restricted to 20, then what would be the maximum sales at optimum levels? X plus y equal to 20. Once again Lagrange's multiplier method. तो आपको क्या करना है, आपको ऑप्टिमल वैल्यू निकालना है by just minimize, your minimizing problem will be this, you need to minimize with respect to the constant x plus y equal to 20. Okay, so whatever I have discussed, is it clear till now? So you have discussed linearization, Taylor's theorem, maximum minima, and then Lagrange's. I have many more problems. I will upload, I think I will upload it today itself. Okay, do you have any question? Do you have any question regarding it?
No sir. Sir, actually I am absent in a class. Previous class. I think second class or third class. But that link is not available.
No, I have already uploaded. I have already uploaded it.
Okay, let me check again.
Okay.
I can go through that link.
Okay. Again, I think I will upload this note in the then you will also get understanding of whatever I have discussed. I will upload the note today, no problem. Okay. This is, I think, a previous. This is just previous year's note. I last year, 2 years ago, I have taken the same course to 2023. So I have the course material. I will upload it. This material is very good material. It is actually our institute's material. Whatever we discuss in IIT Roper, it is just that, and it is very like everything is written in a well organized manner. So that's why I like it.